we've been looking at the definition of perfect God love out of 1 Corinthians chapter 13. And we have another amazing verse today that goes even deeper into what it means for our lives coming up. So glad that you join me here today on the One Verse Daily Devotional as we look at one simple verse every day to grow a little bit deeper in our faith. And this week we've been looking at 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Normally when we hear that chapter, we think of weddings, but as great as it is for weddings, that it was in my wedding, it can be used for so much more. And it's a powerful chapter. And so let's not just dust that chapter off for a wedding and read it and then put it back away. No, let's go and dive into this chapter regularly because it lays out perfect God love, agape love, if you've ever heard that term, which is the perfect selfless love that God has for us. But it's also the type of love that God wants us to have. Now, we might never be able to reach the goal of this perfect love in our lives. I understand that. However, it is the bullseye. It's what we're aiming for. It's what we're shooting for. And so we always kind of want to see what the goal is. And so that's why I think it's great, a few times a year to go back to this passage and see what love really looks like and what it doesn't look like. Really, we're defining love this week by seeing what it doesn't do. Many of these is saying that love is patient, but it also is saying it's not self-seeking, right? And so we've been learning these words all week. If you haven't, watched other episodes, I encourage you to go back and listen or watch those so you can catch up because it's just amazing what we learn here from the Apostle Paul about what true, perfect God love really looks like. Today, our one verse is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 7, and it says, "It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres." It's just so good, right? Like it's almost just wrapping up everything that we've already learned. It's the end of this paragraph. So it is. It says that love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. I love that. I love how it uses that word always over and over and over again. Not just sometimes, not just part of the time, not when it feels like it. Always. Love always protects. And that's a tough one. It's a strong one. That love protects. We said it this week that we're looking at not this little like woo-woo, puppy dog love, that this is like real deal, go to work kind of love. Like it puts its boots on and goes to work. It's willing to fight. And here, what do we see? It always protects. If you're protecting something, that means that there's danger. That means that there's something coming against it. And so if you're going to protect it, you got to be willing to fight. You got to be willing to work. You got to be willing to go after it. And that's what love does. So I know, especially for a guy talking about love, it can be like, oh yeah, love, whatever, love this, love that. This isn't a rom-com, right? This isn't love like in the movies. This is like love that fights for others, protects others, stands up for others, especially those who are weaker, people who cannot stand up for themselves, right? We're talking about everything from caring for others to social justice to standing up for what is right and fighting against things that would put others down, like racism. What does love do? It's willing to fight the fight against racism and bigotry. That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about love that gets its hands dirty, right? That gets in there and says, I'm going to go and I'm going to save everyone that I can. I'm going to pull them out. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to watch out for them. It says love always protects. It always trusts. That's a tough one. Trust is tough. It's hard to trust others. Many of us probably put up walls and barriers and true love. This is going to be hard, but true love says, I'm going to choose to trust. I'm going to choose to trust even though I know that means I could get hurt. And that's hard. Like I said, we're setting a high bar for what perfect love looks like, but it says love always trusts. Now, this love isn't ignorant. It's not gullible, right? It's not easily fooled. No, it's a choice. It chooses to trust. It says it always trusts, that I'm going to believe what you say. If you say that you're working on something, if you say that you're trying to change, I'm going to be patient with you, and I'm going to trust that that's what you're going to do. Love says, hey, I'm willing to get hurt a little bit if it means that I need to trust others. I'm going to choose to trust. Always hopes. It always sees the best. It hopes. It has hope. It hopes for others. It says, I see where you're at now, but I see where you can go. And my love for you is going to see you through that. I always have hope. I love that. Always perseveres. It doesn't give up. It doesn't give up. Love in our culture gives up, right? Love that's selfish or lustful gives up. True love, perfect love, perseveres. It sees it through. It's in it for the long haul, right? We put our arms around someone. We say, I have hope for you. I trust that you are going to get there, that we're going to get there together. And now I'm going to persevere. I'm going to walk alongside with you every step of the way. And when I need to, I'm even going to protect you. Man, I love this verse. Love always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Man, I hope this meant something to you. We still have another verse to wrap this all up tomorrow, but so far I feel like this definition of love is incredible. Have a great day.